Okay, this is the lecture video for the part 2 of the nonprofit trifold brochure assignment. For this one, you're going to create a mood board for your nonprofit brochure. A mood board is a visual tool that helps you conceptualize the design and aesthetic of your nonprofit brochure. It serves as a reference point for the tone, style, and branding elements that will guide your creative decision throughout the project. The mood board should reflect the essence of the nonprofit organization and set the visual direction for your brochure design. Okay, so a mood board is a collection of images, inspiration for your project. And this can be for any project. Mood boards can be done for interior design, just your personal for yourself, inspiration of things, things that you want to do with your career, your life, just anything in general. That's what a mood board is. Okay. So here is a link to mood board examples. Okay. So again, it's just collecting things that ideas for concepts that you may have, or if you've been asked to design something and the person asking you to design the project or whatever, the brochure, whatever it may be, they don't quite know what they want with the project. They don't know, you're providing inspiration to them or images to them, text, examples, photography examples, colors. You're presenting that to the client to give them an idea of your idea and direction for their project. So again, the brochure, a website, anything that you may be designing for. Okay. Okay, so here's some examples, different examples of mood boards. There's images, textures, colors, different patterns, just inspiration that they've found for a mood board. Okay, this is an example of a mood board for fashion design. So different types of fabric, colors that they may use for it, the different type of fabric they may use for it. Okay, so here's one for interior design. Here's one for typography, digital illustration, textures, business card design and texture mood board. Another one for interior design. So again, it's just a collection of images, patterns. For like interior design, you would do paint swatches, tiles, samples, flooring styles, carpet, anything that's going to help the person you're designing for get a better understanding of your direction for the project. There's another one for typography, Pantone color of the year. Okay, so here's one for fashion, a bakery logo concept mood board, interior design, another interior design, fashion. So it's just a collection of images, inspiration for anything that you may be designing. So in the case for this assignment for the nonprofit brochure, you can collect images from the nonprofit's website, or just generic images that you feel would represent that nonprofit. You're going to do searching for color combinations. So I usually start with the color.adobe.com, where you can explore type in a term here, and then explore different colors. You can just type in a color, so blue, and it will give you different color combinations. As inspiration, you can see they're based on, some of them are based on an image that the colors have been selected from, artwork. And there's also a trends tab here, dealing with fashion, graphic design, illustration, UI, UX, which is interactive, like the Netflix screen or screens that you have on your smart TV, architecture, game design, wilderness, anything in nature, flavor, having to do with foods, travel. Okay, so you can explore color combinations here. You're also going to need to select fonts from the Adobe font catalog. I would start there first. Trying to select a font or find a font that you're going to use for your project. That way you can install it or add it to your library, and then you can use it in any program, and it stays with your subscription, your Adobe subscription. Okay. Okay, so there's examples of mood boards, and you can also just do a search for mood board examples and go to images, and you'll find all kinds of different mood boards examples. So as you can see, it's just a collection of images depending on the project that you're working on. Where was the one I just saw? This one here. What to include in a mood board: your own art, color palette, art from other artists, inspiring quotes, ephemera, which is books, maps, postcards, things you take out of a magazine, children's arts, photocopies from books, but anything you want to include. So this is going to be a digital mood board that you're going to do on a computer. Okay. So to create a mood board that captures the personality, values, and identity of your chosen nonprofit organization. This will inform your design decisions, such as color palette, typography, imagery, and overall style for the brochure. So again, it's a starting point for color combinations, typography. You may not end up using all of the stuff that you are putting together on the mood board, but it gives you a starting point of design elements. Even if you want to, you include on there examples of brochures. If you do a search for brochure design and there's a brochure layout that you like, that you want to recreate, you can include that on your mood board as well. Okay. So again, you're researching the nonprofit. You've already done most of that research about what the nonprofit is, what they do, their purpose and everything. But this part of the research is you're going to their website and finding images that they've used on their website, color choices, their color schemes that they've used on their website, or any other materials that they have. So you're going to take note of the tone of their communication. Is it formal, casual, inspiring, or professional? Any reoccurring colors, fonts, or images they use in their branding. But whatever their logo is, they're going to have consistent colors in that, fonts that they're going to use. And that stuff's going to carry through onto their website and any other materials that they're going to design. and the type of people they serve or advocate for, and key messages or themes the organizations focus on: empowerment, equality, sustainability, health, and so forth. Gather visual inspiration. Using your research, collect visual elements that represent the nonprofit's brand and mission. So include their existing logo, because you are going to be recreating their logo. So if they have an existing logo, include that on the mood board, but you're also going to be creating a logo of your own for that nonprofit. Color palette, identify the primary and secondary colors associated with the nonprofit, or choose colors that best represent its mission. So if it's something that is about the environment, you may want to include greens in the logo, or the color palette, I should say. And then maybe if it's a animal shelter, maybe you might have more browns, different color choice than you would have for something that's doing to do with the environment. Typography, collect examples of fonts that reflect the tone of the nonprofit. Consider choosing a font for headlines, body text, and callouts that align with the organization's identity. So kind of pay attention to what kind of fonts they have on, or typography they use on their website. If you feel it's something that's not working for that particular, if you don't like the way that nonprofit, what their font they're using, go ahead and select something that you feel that is more suitable for them. Imagery, select images that reflect the nonprofit's focus. So look at what they have on their website. Does it tell a complete story about the nonprofit? If the images that you see there don't really represent it, then try to find some images that do. Okay, so this could include photos of people they serve, volunteers, the environment, or impactful moments that highlight their work. So you can start on the Adobe stock, okay, and do a search for if the nonprofit has to do with animals. Do a search for animals. Do they, serve a wide variety of animals? Is it an animal sanctuary, or is it more for like dogs and cats? If it's an environmental nonprofit, look for images of nature or environment. Okay, so I would start with the Adobe stock website first, and then move on finding other images somewhere else. But I would start here, since they're, you can use these images for education purposes as part of your license. So I would start here and then try to find images other place if you need to. Other design elements, look for patterns, textures, or graphic elements that might fit with the nonprofit's image. Organic shapes for environmental causes, clean lines for professional organizations. So here on the Adobe stock, you can also do search for textures. Okay. So like a wall or paint textures, whatever it may be. You can also look for graphic elements here. So, random shapes, abstract shapes, anything that you may find of interest that you would maybe want to include in your mood board. And you can also use these elements on your brochure, your brochure layout as well, if you want to. Okay. Other logos or designs for inspiration. You may find it useful to include logos or designs of similar organizations to understand trends or styles in the nonprofit sector. So if there is another nonprofit as you're doing your research and you like that logo or that style of the logo, and go ahead and include that on your mood board as inspiration. So you may want to kind of go in that direction with the logo that you're going to design for the nonprofit, and use that as a reference. Okay, so you're going to arrange your mood board. You're going to create a new document in InDesign 11 by 17. It can be landscape or portrait. So it could be landscape or portrait. Okay. Can't spell very well. Okay. Margins margins are going to be a 1/4 inch all the way around and then 3 columns. Okay, so ensure your mood board is clear and easy to understand. Label the sections color palette, typography, logo ideas, and include brief annotations if needed to explain your choices. So again, this is good for you if you're presenting your ideas to a client, why you selected the font, why you selected the color choices that you did, or just any, more for you too, why you selected them, what your inspiration or your reasoning why you selected certain things. Just jot that down on there. And that helps you when you come back to it later on. You may come back to it in a couple weeks and say, well, I don't remember why I picked this, but then you have that notation there as to why you did. Okay. Organize your gathered materials into a visually cohesive layout. Group related elements together. So place your color palette near your typography or put similar image types together. Let me save this here. Okay, ensure your mood board communicates the overall feel you want to achieve with the brochure. The arrangement should help you visualize how these elements will work together in the design. And let me share the mood board that I put together. Okay, so here is the mood board that I put together for the assignment. Okay, so I included the original logo for the Santa Monica Animal Shelter. Okay, I selected the colors that were in the existing one. I grabbed some images that were on their website. And I selected the fonts that were on their website as well. And then I found some other inspiration for recreating the logo, kind of based on what they already had for their logo. So some inspiration, some waves, some sun, since it's Santa Monica Animal Shelter. Some make it more towards because they're at the beach. because it kind of is represented in their original logo, but not quite because of the, it's got the sun and the water down here. But this was the inspiration that I found. And then the color palettes that I found, and then an example of a brochure that I might want to use as inspiration, or I might want to recreate that layout. Okay, so that's the mood board. So I have the logo, the original logo. I have the color palette, some images, the text, some inspirations for the logo. And an example of a brochure that I liked the way it was laid out. Okay. So that's my version of the mood board for this assignment. Okay. Review your mood board and adjust any elements that don't feel aligned with the organization's mission. So you may find quite a few images or inspiration for it, but you don't need to include everything on there. You don't want it to look cluttered. You want it to have some breathing room, like on mine. I didn't clutter it with a lot of stuff. It's broken up. There's, white space, negative space around it for your eye to kind of move through and, kind of pause before you move to the next thing on the mood board. Okay, ask yourself, does this mood board reflect the nonprofit's personality? Is it visually appealing and cohesive? Does it guide your creative decisions for the brochure's design? Okay, so you're going to submit your mood board. You're going to save the InDesign file with your first and last name, mood board. Export the document as a press quality PDF. And as well as a JPEG to submit to the discussion board. So I need to add the discussion board in there onto the module. Submit the InDesign document and the PDF to this assignment page. So a digital a mood board includes either the pre-existing logo or rough concept, but you are going to create a new logo for the mood board. So if you want to include your sketches or your rough concept for the new logo on there as well, you can. Color palette, at least 3 to 5 colors. Typography, fonts you plan to use or are inspired by. Imagery, photos, or visual concepts that relate to the nonprofit's mission. And again, they could be images from their website, or, if those images that they have on their website or that you find associated with that nonprofit and you don't think they fit the nonprofit's theme or message, you can find other ones. Additional design elements, textures, patterns, whatever grabs your attention when you're looking for images. And then inspirational logos or designs you can include on there as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back over to InDesign and show you how to set the document up for the mood board. So you're going to go to File, New, Document. First thing that you're going to do is change your units to inches. By default, it's picas. If you type in 17 by 11 in there and you don't change that to inches, you're going to have a very small document. Okay. So you want to make sure that you change this to inches, because when I flip that over to inches, the document is almost 3 inches by 2 inches. Okay. So you want to make sure that this says inches for your units, and you're going to type in 11 for your width and 17 for your height, or you can do it landscape. So you can either do it landscape or portrait. So make sure this is changed to inches. You're going to do 1 page, 3 columns, and your margins are 0.25. So remember, you type the number in one field, press your tab key, and it should populate those numbers in the rest of the fields. Okay, so again, you can do vertical or horizontal. The document size is 11 by 17 or 17 by 11 if you're doing it horizontal versus vertical, portrait or landscape. Okay, and then you're just going to start placing on the page the elements that you found on during your research. Okay, so I'm going to open this. This is the original logo. I'm going to click and drag and add that on there. Okay, and then you're just going to include the other examples that you photos, illustrations, anything else that you have found that you want to include on the mood board. Okay, so color palettes, that you found on the Adobe stock or the Adobe color, or if you want to come up with your own color combinations, you can do that as well. So anything that you found inspiration for the mood board, you're going to include on the mood board page here in InDesign. And then you're going to save it as your first and last name, mood board. And then you're going to export the document as a PDF. So from that list, PDF, and you're going to do press quality from the pop-down menu. And then to the assignment page here, you're going to submit the PDF and the InDesign document, press quality PDF and the InDesign document you're going to submit to this assignment page. And then I'm going to make the discussion board, and you're going to submit the JPEG to the discussion board as well. Okay. I forgot to mention, I have included another website here, how to create a mood board. Goes through planning, shows you some templates here, how different people create mood boards, why you should include the client in this as well to communicate your ideas to the client. You want to talk with them, kind of get their ideas to begin with, of the direction that they kind of feel that their project or how they want their project to go. And then you take those ideas and you start searching for images, text, anything to include on that mood board based on their idea or feeling of what they want out of the project. Okay, so then this also has some more examples of mood boards there as well. Okay, so again, the mood board is collecting inspiration from either the website of the nonprofit, or if there's not any, the stuff that's on their website doesn't appeal to you and you want to go in a different direction with their design, then you're going to search for images, fonts, colors, anything that you feel is going to represent that nonprofit better based on your design choices. Okay, so it's an 11 by 17 document in InDesign, either landscape or portrait. Margins are 1/4 of an inch, 3 columns. And then you're just going to arrange those items on the page however you feel. So whatever order you want to include them, you can include the color swatches farther down, the text first, whatever you feel is the most important element that you want to showcase on the mood board. And then arrange it accordingly that way. Okay. All right, so I'm going to record the next video for the logo design portion of the project. And that's part 3.